Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 5 between Classic here in the top right and Reynor in the bottom left. The Italian Stallion versus the Korean Protoss player called Classic, who's had a fantastic time over the past few years. Good results all around. Second at the World Championship. Did that with... I'm not sure how to describe his playstyle. Some people would say it is not innovative, but it is very effective, which, if you're planning on winning, is probably the most important thing. Like, Classic is the type of guy to open up Stargate into Twilight, into Fast Templar Archives, 12 games in a row, as long as he keeps winning, or as long as he believes that the build order puts him in a position to win. He's not someone to switch it up, you know? He's not someone to go back to the old builds. As we sometimes see someone like Hero do, for example. Never mind. Twilight Council first. Alright. Nice little speech there, Kevin. Fantastic that everything in it was wrong. Twilight Council out of Classic. I mentally get transported back to 2017. Macron just beat Marine Le Pen in the French election. ISIS troops took over Mosul. And... well, what else happened in 2017? Justin Bieber was destroying the chart? I don't know. Honestly, anything before 2020 is kind of vague which year what happened. I feel like 2017, Justin Bieber, absolutely killing it. 100%. Either way, this is actually more of a 2020 build though. This is what Zest played in 2020 Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. You had these 4-gate glaive builds. A lot of them. Ended up losing, I think, to Rogue in the finals, or... yeah, I think ended up losing to Rogue in the finals after beating Serral in the semifinals. These types of builds. This was a warp gate delay out of Classic into 4-gate glaive. So, what does this do? Reynor, as the smart Zerg he is, checks the warp gate timing, sees, hey, that warp gate timing was very weird. It was a little bit late. Probably means it's going to be a Stargate, because if you play Stargate, you want to go Stargate before warp gate, so your first Oracle is faster. As a result, what are we seeing? Look at that! Reynor. What's this sport positioning? What the hell? Yes, we're getting real close right there. If someone sits this close to me on the bus, I'm punching them. And I am anti-violence. Like, this is crazy. What the hell? Like, you could smell that this guy ate garlic last night. What's wrong with you? Either way, very fast spore, which is completely useless against Adept. And we see Classic still trying to sell the Glaive Adept build as well. There's no Roach Warren on the way whatsoever. My good friend Reynor is as clueless as they come. Look at that. Reynor has zero idea as to what is going on. Now throws down a Roach Warren. This is not a wall. He's in a terrible spot as we speak. This is, I don't want to say the worst case scenario, but a very bad case scenario. It is a very, very bad case. Needs to pick up some of these Adepts, Classic that is. I'm gonna get another Glaive Adept warp in as well. We're going to have, what is that, 11 Adepts out, 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. All we have is Queens and Lings. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Adepts versus Lings, but I do know that Lings die. So we're gonna see this finish. Look at this. There's a magic number as well, which is anything above 8. Once you have more than 8 Adepts, Lings do not fight well. If you have less than 8 or 8, you can still fight it with pure Lings. I don't know why that is, but it's just like a magic number. And it always remains true. Look at this. Classic is just eating him. Oh, yeah, with the freaking 2020 build. Dude, I'm not sure if Reynor was born back then already. 2020 was like 16 or something, 17. He's getting a beating here from the old veteran with his veteran build. Experience, my friends. Experience is important. Immortal behind this as well. Most likely following it up with some type of Immortal all-in. I'm actually getting transported mentally back to 2017. Holy crap. 4 more Adepts are moving in. Gonna get the pickup into the main base. Do we have some Adepts on the side? No, we don't. Can we go for another warp in the main as the first Roaches now come on out? 60 supply versus 55. So the supplies don't necessarily look terrible here for Classic. Don't be confused. What does look freaking terrible though, or it doesn't look terrible for Reynor. What does look terrible though is the worker count. 41 to 31. It is difficult to imagine Classic losing with such a high worker lead. Like, he's all-inning behind this, which makes it harder for him to, to really use that advantage. I often feel like it's one of the things you can do to try and throw games by all-inning after having a huge worker lead. If there was a third base with this, we skip those gases, for example, Good lord. Classic would have been in such a sick position right now, economically, to take this into a late game. Right now, though, Reynor wants to just go up to 47, 48 workers, 3 gases, can probably stay on hatchery tech, and try to pump out as many roaches and ravagers as he needs. Like, that is the road to victory. It's not a very easy road to victory, but no road to victory is ever easy. That's why it often leads to victory, because it's difficult. 8 more drones coming in. This is the timing, by the way, where ideally Reynor gets a read on the fact that there's no third base. That would be a pretty big deal. He's adding in some links right now. Ravager coming out as well. I think Reynor might feel it. Intuitively, I think he has a good feeling about this type of stuff. Like he knows what needs to be done. So we don't see tech into lair, which is correct. We don't see anything else here either. Like, no third base is crazy work. It's actually crazy work. Reynor is outmining his opponent at the moment, but his opponent is out-uniting him, which is arguably more important. Here comes the scout. 6 links are going to get the kill here on the pylon. Don't think you can warp anything in to defend this. Just going to get a full wall in here. 86 supply to 89 to 90. Bit of a supply block though. Not enough overlords out. This thing is also going to die. That's very frustrating right now for Reynor, who has 4 Ravagers, but 4 Ravagers is not going to be good enough against such a large force of units. 8 Gateway, 3 Immortals, Sentries, Adepts, more Adepts, and 100 supply against 85. I think our good friend Reynor here is about to die against this, not innovative gameplay, but I feel like in order to bring back, you know, the old school builds, you do need to be a little bit creative, so I love to see it over here. Neat little split off as well out of Classic. So he sends the 3 Adepts from the natural into the main base. Oh, here comes the flank. 1, 2, 3. He's gonna get the tag here onto this prism. Don't think it's... Oh, moves away in time. Beautiful stuff. Well done there, Classic, as GG gets called, and Classic will take game number 1 with a very, very rare build order. And I think that is one of the things that used to make Classic so strong back in the day. I feel like only after he came back from the military did he become a more conservative gamer. Before that, always felt like Classic, whenever he would enter a best of 5, he would have 1 or 2 builds that would come out of nowhere and would win 1 game. And really just 1 game only. He didn't give a crap about it. It's like if he had a 1-game win, he would always deploy that strategy very successfully. I remember there was a time where he'd often play Proxy Twilight, Proxy Robo, go for some type of Glaive Adept Immortal push. And he'd throw, like, he'd just get that build out every 3-4 months or so, and he'd play it a single game whenever it was important, and he would freaking win with it. Very impressive stuff. And now again as well, he's a player that really values high level of preparation, and he always seems strong in these types of tournaments as well, where you can actually execute that level of preparation. Nexus comes down on the natural location, so it's going to be Nexus into core. This is the golden standard of Protoss versus Zerg. And where before I was certain he was going to play Stargate every single game, now I want to see if he has anything else up his sleeve. Another ace, or another king, or a jack, or just a bad card. I feel like if you're cheating, it would be sick to just have any cards up your sleeve. Like, why just aces? Like, I understand that they're the best, but I think it gets very suspicious if you always have aces up your sleeve. You're like, oh, aces again? Really? Like, you kind of mix it up. Why don't you just put an entire deck up your sleeve? You can just mix and match with what the hell is going on. I feel like, I guess it's hard because you can't fit so many cards up there. Fat trick that people could have used if you believe someone else has cards up their sleeves. Just force people to play in t-shirts. Wonder why they never thought of that. Very difficult to hide cards up your sleeves there. Especially if you have these loose-fitting t-shirts. If you have a muscle shirt, maybe it's possible, like up high, but you can't fit more than 3-4 cards in there. It also becomes obvious. Okay, it's going to be a Stargate this time. So no cards up the sleeve. So what is this? Oh, a Tastelope. You have the Artosilope and the Tastylope. I'm not sure if this map has both of them or just the Tastylope. The Artosilope is green. The Tastylope is this color. Is it gray, maybe? Grayish blue. There's also a bit of purple, like, accents in there. They look very stupid. Big thing on their head. A couple of hooves as well. Beautiful creature. All right. Ooh, Void Ray first. Oh. Ah. Okay. We get an inside expand. Single void ray. I like this a lot. Full wall. You know why I like this a lot? Because Classic is known to be insane. Classic is the type of guy that goes single void ray into Twilight Robo and then does a 12-gate charge all-in off of 2 bases. So Reynor doesn't actually have the confirmation that there's a base here. He can probably think about it. It's like, yeah, there's probably a third. He could also drone scout. Is that actually what he's gonna do? He's actually gonna drone scout. He wants to know. You know what? I think this is 100% correct. This is the first time I'm seeing it. So for the people that don't know about this map can be scouted, but only with drones. No one but a drone is allowed through. You don't get punished for it. You can move through it. So this drone gets through, sees the third base, is actually gonna go in for a scout. I freaking love this. He says, hey, I am not certain, and I want to be certain. I want to see what the hell it is you're doing. Behind all of this, Reynor does end up losing 4 workers to a single Oracle. He got some good information. And then someone in his walkie-talkie tells him that 4 of his brothers just died and that he's about to die too. Because this drone isn't being microed at all. There we go. Can it pull back? Oh, there we go. Neat little surround. 5 drones going down. 4 dead by the hands of the Oracle. And, oh my god, he's going to kill these rocks? Freaking Classic is insane. Is he just instantly going to expand into a 4th base here? I think he is. Classic is playing some of the greediest StarCraft I've seen. He's going to go for like a 6-minute 4th. That is crazy work. Does he want to wall this? I guess he could wall this area as well. Which would be pretty cool. Which actually would be pretty cool. A thing you can do, by the way, is you can block this area off with a pylon. Either on the outside or on the inside. If you do it on the inside, I'm not sure if the drone actually sees it. So that would probably be a correct, you know? If you want to copy this build order, it's probably... You can put a pylon up here, I think, as well. Also covers it. But yeah, I mean, this is a really quick 4th base. I think Reynor's going to be aware of that as well. We see full drones. Usually, as a droning man, a Zerg player, you want to probably quit at like 66, 67, 68 workers. We're seeing a couple more drones coming in right now. And that is... I think Reynor knows. He's going to get the confirmation right now. And once he gets that confirmation, he's going to be quite happy about all of this. Okay, this is enough. Like, he's like, okay, what do I need from here on out? There's 2 choices he can make. Choice number 1 involves him basically going, into Infestation Pit. 95 workers or 87 workers, just high worker count. He's going to get the Rich Vespine Geyser here on the 4th. He already has a 5th base on the way, so quick 10 gas could be on the menu here for us. Oh, 1 more worker, almost goes down. Oracle does stay alive, which is a big deal. And I'm expecting extra gases to be taken here rapidly for Classic as well. Here's the full wall cannon, robotics behind it. 2nd start, what? So usually we see tech, 2nd fleet beacon or like a fleet beacon and then 2nd Stargate. The 2nd Stargate is very confusing because you can't do anything with just a 2nd Stargate. It's not like he's going to build Void Rays. It just doesn't happen. We also already see him set up for like a very defensive game. So all that Classic wants to do here is just stay alive. Like his game plan is not dying, which is a viable game plan. Okay, here comes the fleet beacon in the natural. Battery, 2 more cannons. I wouldn't mind, by the way, seeing like a full wall over here. So then the only thing you need to defend is this ramp, which would be sick. It's gonna be Swarmhost. What the hell? Okay, this is the last thing I'd expected. I said there was 2 options. Reynor just made like a... This wouldn't even be the 3rd or the 4th option. You know, I was thinking like option-wise, like he can tech into like fast lurker or something, high drone count. We can do like a Hydra Link Bane all in. Then maybe you could do like Hydra Link Bane of higher worker count. Swarmhosts, I think, is like rank 15 on the list of things that might be possible. It's like if you're really trying hard. You know, you have to open up the unit stab in the help section of StarCraft 2. It's like you're reading the like the game guide. You know, the little booklet they used to give with the games back in the day. Like you're reading that while you're on the toilet. Like a Swarmhost? Right, it does exist. And then something like this happens. Like this is not a thing. Let's try to not make it a thing. I mean, there's no supply here whatsoever for Classic. Let's not be weird about it. He really has no supply. The problem is that usually the first Swarmhost wave is a big indicator of what's going to happen the rest of the game. So if the first Swarmhost wave is this unsuccessful, the next wave usually ain't that successful. Although 2 Templar did end up falling. Void Ray went down as well. I think that was all over here. More cannons being added in. First 2 carriers already coming out. I'm expecting +1 air weapons to start soon as well. I'm actually surprised not to see that quite yet. Mothership should be on the way too. Swarmhosts now going to come from the right side. I mean, Swarmhosts are just a huge investment into a unit that does need to trade. You can't just not trade with it. Like, you need to actually get kills. So we're going to come from 2 sides. Classic is completely in position here. He has 2 carriers in the natural with a stasis. Here comes some storms, maybe some zoning storms on the left as well. This is a fight with potentially some potential. Okay, Templar actually being taken out. Hydra's moving through the storms at a rapid speed, taking out a lot of these cannons. The Locust still dealing a bit of damage as well. Carriers now finally moving over here towards the fort base. A couple of storms do still land. Going to push this back. Classic has a very weird setup where he wanted to get this very high-tech army of 7 gases, because there's only a single gas in this third base location. But he's kind of just getting blasted by crap units. And he needs more cannons. I wonder if he can get another wave of cannons before the next Locust wave. The answer is no, because the next Locust wave is already available. Hydra Lingbane Swarmhost. I have actually never seen this before. I've seen Roach Swarmhost. I've seen Hydra Lurker, like after Swarmhost, but this is an aggressive style of Swarmhost that I'm not super familiar with. As once more, the Locusts are actually getting pretty decent trades. Interceptors are largely disappearing. I'd love to see, by the way, I'd love to see a second Evo chamber for Carapace upgrades against the carriers. Makes Hydras much, much better against them. So far, still no attack upgrades on those carriers either. Don't forget, supplies look very good right now for Reynor, but an issue is that the carrier count keeps growing, which means you need anti-air. And there's a lot of Swarmhosts which just suck up freaking supply. So Classic is moving on the map right now. Needs to be careful not to go too deep or too far. Another Swarmhost wave comes in, is going to kill the fort base. This fort base is toast. That's going to put Classic a little bit more all in than he probably would want to be. As this wave comes out, kills the base. And now we have another Hydra attack. Of course, Reynor wants to fight as far away from his own base as possible. Interceptors are going down at a pretty rapid pace. How many do we have left right now? We have 8 interceptors left. And I think with this amount of Hydras, you could actually be fine. Spire coming down here too. Love to see these extra gases being taken. Going up to 10 gas would be sick here. 10 gas versus 6 gas. Or sorry, 10 gas versus 5 gas would be phenomenal. Storms here are pretty decent as well. Carrier still active, but the supply is heavily favoring Reynor, who made honestly a very weird call. I thought the infestation pit really was going to be for a quick hive, Lurker, Hydra, but Reynor had different plans, and these plans seemingly are working out. I mean, they are working out. Next Swarmhost wave comes in, natural base is going to get absolutely blasted here as well, as there's just too much. GG gets called, Reynor wins with Swarmhost, Hydra, Ling. Takes game number 2. Alright, our next map is going to be on Winter Madness. See an aggressive Classic here. Yeah, first step's going bananas. Oof. Oof. Ooh, gets a kill. So that's what? 1 Ling and a drone. And a Force on a Spore. So we count that as honestly a big success. Even if we would have lost this Adept, we could have lived with it. Because it happens really early on in the game. And the faster you kill something, the more valuable it is. Especially if you... Oh my god, even 8 Lings being forced out here. That is 13 Lings total. That seems like an amount of Lings that tries to cancel a third base. But Classic is not the type of player to try and take a greedy third base. Double Adepts are hiding on the map right now. You just freaking clipped right through that mineral. What the hell? That is fake. The king of hide and seek. Could you actually hide in here, I wonder? I guess everyone uses their units on A move, so it doesn't really matter, but still. It's an interesting thought. Okay, here comes the Oracle. And here come the Lings wanting to cancel this third. Cancel on the third is a fact. I mean, that's 100% here. This Oracle is also being pushed back. Adepts are not gonna go... Okay, they're now gonna try to go in. 1 probe goes down. So significant delay here on the third base to start things off with. We get the double Adept shade here into the natural. It's a little bit far away. That gives these queens the time to start pecking at him a little bit. One of them goes down. 3 drones have fallen. We get a shade into the main. And some workers are going... I don't know where the other worker went down, but 5 workers have fallen here. I think this is very reasonable damage. No oracles went down, just 2 adepts. Problem is that his third base is so late, which I don't like. 3 more gates coming in as well. It's going to be a 6-gate pressure here out of Classic. Potentially even 7-gate pressure, I think. Because he's not building any workers. No Fort gas either, so it's unlikely to go into something else. It's going to be charge. Okay, I had not expected that. Evo chamber defensively for Reynor. No wall once more. Walls are great against charge slots. Because charge slots are melee. Fun fact. They don't like walls. Because they can't get through. So very often what we see Zerg players do, the moment they realize it's charged, they build like a full wall in the natural, which is tricky because there's already a tumor here. And then they also like wall in this area, maybe even some spines in the back. There's no secondary tech either. No Roach Warren, no Baneling Nest. We're already 5 minutes into the game, so this is starting to look a little bit scary in my mind. We get the fake Stalker warp-ins, which I'm in love with. I think this is such a cool move. I think this is so correct as well. Like, showing Stalkers right now is basically the greenest flag you can send to Reynor. If you warp in 3 Zealots, Reynor's gonna go bananas and he instantly throws down a Baneling Nest or a Roach Worm. But here, he sees Stalkers, he's like, hey, I can kill Stalkers with melee upgrades and a bunch of links. That is no problem for me. That is actually exactly what I want. So, he's just telling Reynor what he wants to hear. He's like, oh yeah, pure Stalker, buddy, don't worry about it. It's gonna be a great time. He needs to fake building some workers, though. He's not doing that. I think Reynor sees the lack of workers building. He's like, hey, that's kind of weird. He builds 8 more links. I am expecting a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest right now. It is possible that Reynor is desperately trying to get some info. He's not getting it, though. Reynor is not getting the info he needs. Okay, now we get it. Spinecrawler, Baneling Nest. Sees the Zealots move across. Look at the walling. 5th base cancel, I think. 5th base should be cancelled just for money, so we build more buildings. How are we walling this off, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have a look. Baneling Nest not done quite yet. Our Zealot count is at 15 with +1. As long as you're fighting away from queens, you're going to be having a great time. Okay, runs into the natural. Drones are just running away from now. For now, the drones are just running away. Do we have more Zealots being sent across the map? Not really. Spinecrawler is done. Queen's out in the open. This is, for how bad this could have gone, this is going quite okay for Reynor. Impressively so, may I add. Like, his position is really quite crap. Needs to start morphing a couple of Banes, so he can eventually clean this up. This micro is freaking insane. Reynor's micro is so good. These Zealots have done absolutely nothing. They're just chasing queens, trying to hold the top ramp as well right now. More Zealots making their way across the map. This should have been 100% over. I think you give this to almost any other Zerg and they just die. Beautiful stalling with the queens and the links. Great drone movement. Good building positioning here in the natural. This was a terrible situation. And Reynor made this look simple. Reynor made this build look non-viable, because this is the dream scenario. If you play this build order, this is exactly what you want to play against. You don't want to play against Roach, you don't want to play against Banelings. If someone's going pure Ling into Hydra, that is like the dream. Okay, you sign for that instantly at the start of the game. Someone tells you they're going to play this, you're like, hell yeah. I'm playing 6-gate +1 Zealot. This feels good. Fort base does come down. We have Templar Archives researching Storm. The problem is that Reynor right now knows that he has a lot of time. I think getting these Hydras is already kind of a stretch in a way. I think he could have gone up to 85 workers before doing that. I guess he's not aware of the fact that there's a fort base. Had he known that... Actually, maybe the Hydras are correct. Look at the Archons. Archons are scary. Archons are scary. Absolutely. Okay, no, I love everything he's doing then. I thought he could get away with maybe getting some more drones first, but this Hydra, this round of Hydras actually feels very nice right now. Still going to lose the 5th base. I don't think he has to necessarily. Maybe he could have tried defending it, but I think he would have gotten more losses than he would have gained. And he's going to go for a cancel on the fort at the same time. With +1, these links are absolutely unleashed, and this base does get cancelled. So we end up in a scenario of 4 base versus 3 base, which is absolutely fine for Zerg. Zerg has centrifugal hooks on the way. You know your opponent morphed 2 Archons, which is the equivalent of 4 Templar. So that is 4 Templar less for Stormers. That means that Hydra Link Bane is going to be significantly more effective as well. I cannot believe how well Reynor defended that. That was freaking chef's kiss. Absolutely sick. This is also a sick attack, by the way. But sick the other way. Like, this feels so risky. Reynor is the one that actually wants to be doing the attacking right now. So if he can take a defensive fight on creep against this amount of Zealots, Like, Reynor's just moving across the base. He's like, wait, are you actually attacking? Or is this bait trying to get me to go back home? This is such an awkward game right now. Both players start to attack one another. I think Reynor just didn't expect this whatsoever. We're getting one of the weirder fights that I've seen in a long time. These Templar are a little bit exposed. Banelings do not find them, though. As 12 probes already go down, but a lot of drones are also starting to fall. You need to be so careful with this type of stuff. Like, you need to be so on top of it, because if the Banelings on creep start connecting, you're freaking cooked. Oh, there we go. 2 Templar out of the 5 go down. A couple more storms are available. 27 drones have gone down as well, though. Seems like Classic made the right call, though at the same time he is losing his own 3rd base as well. There are no workers there. 51 to 47 right now. 2 bases are still alive for Reynor. If Reynor pushes this back, despite the lower worker count, I think he's going to be in an okay and playable position. But honestly, Classic is making some magic happen right now. Hydra's going back home. If Classic just takes out this 3rd, he's fine, but Classic wants to go for the throat. I wonder if he can go for the throat. I'll take his Reynor's neck. That is the only question that requires answering right now. Lynx come back home. Hydras go for the snipe on the prism. No, they will get it. Oh my god, these 9 Zealots or 8 Zealots that were being warped in were absolutely crucial to this attack. And as Classic ignored this 3rd base and decided to go for the full-on kill, he now is in the awkward position of being down a base but up in workers. He also has good upgrades on the way. He's going to be +3 attack against 1-1 upgrades. If he actually had killed his opponent's 3rd base, I think he would be winning, even after taking a horrible fight like that. Like 100%. We have a Spire coming out of Reynor, which feels weird as hell. We have 2 storms soon to be available. Here comes storm number 1. Here comes storm number 1. Here comes storm number... No. Okay, Templar comes in. Cancel. Cancel on the Nexus. Reynor manages it. Extra gas on the way. Reynor continues pushing in further forward. Don't forget, only 2 storms. 1 gets used. Every storm you have here is a very, very big deal. Energy recharge is available, so he can probably get 1 more if he wants to. What an awkward game. This Spire is crazy as well, because he has so much gas in the bank. Do we even have Blink? Okay, there is Blink. +3 Stalkers is really big. I am afraid that Reynor might be making himself a little bit more vulnerable while teching into Spire, into those extra Mutas. Like, you put 2k resources into Muta. That's what he's going to be doing. Maybe even a little bit more, like 1k gas. You have the money for the Spire as well. It's like 2,500. 2.2, 2.3 into Mutas. That feels scary. That feels scary, but the micro here is good. He's baiting his opponent to try and chase him. 4th base on the way for Classic. I was afraid of Classic moving across the map and potentially winning with like a decent Archon count. Because those +3 upgrades really pack a punch. But right now Classic has no clue as to what the hell is going on. Reynor's just building Pureling Hydra. So the Mutas, they kind of work as economy here. But rather than saying, hey, I'm going to out-eco you, he's like, by building more drones, I'm going to out-eco you by killing your probes. Which is a very cool way to go about it. So Reynor actually stays low worker, because he knows that his base are about to mine out. He knows his opponent base are about to mine out, so he doesn't actually want to build more workers, because then he also needs to build more hatcheries. Doesn't have the cash for this. He believes this is a pretty decent way of dealing with this problem. Stalker Warpin is going to kill this, though. 5 Stalkers with +3 is good damage output. The split fire there is very painful. He could have absolutely killed 1 or 2 Mutas. But the 10 workers already going down is going to be an issue here for Classic. Behind this, +2 range. Did you see a Lurker then? Yep, I saw a Lurker then going up. Which is cool. I dig it. Not as good as it used to be against the Neil Storm. Like, these low-range Lurkers are a little bit worse, in my mind. But it might just be good enough. Stalkers now moving into the natural. We get a Zoning Storm as well. That is very rare to see. Hydraling Bane comes and hits the 3rd base. And I think... Oh, this is a nice split off with those Hydras. Look at that. 1 Templar already going down. 12 workers falling total. As the Banelings once again try to roll in. Good pullbacks out of Reynor. Has already cancelled the 4th base. Really wants to get this 3rd. But I think at this point, it doesn't even matter anymore. This is already over. Please stop. He's already dead, my dear friend. 2 more Archons get morphed in. Despite the significant upgrade lead that Classic has for himself. Reynor takes out the base. Moves back. Could snipe one more Archon here if he turns around, even for just a second. It's not that much HP on there, but it won't matter. GG gets called, and Reynor will put himself on match point. And that map is going to be Persephone. Oh, weird map choice to have in the map pool still, but not my tournament, not my rules. This guy's going to go into the middle to heal up a little bit. Wants to get some of that HP back. The problem is that I'm not even sure if you get the shields back in time. So that does regenerate automatically. The problem here, obviously, is that you don't have enough time to regenerate. So it's going to get about 40 shields back. Queen is going to start punching it. Second Queen shows up as well. We immediately see a switch back with this. But there's a couple of links around, and this is not working out whatsoever for Classic. A, quite frankly, terrible start for him as he kills a single Ling. Maybe 2 Lings total. Is that it? A Ling and a drone is what he's killed so far in this game. I just don't think it's good enough. I just do not believe this to be good enough. As a Spore comes out, you have the Oracle moving over towards the third base. Third Spore also already on the way. So, ooh, we have a delayed speed, by the way. So Reynor, he was a little bit more aggressive with the mineral mining here. Gets an Evo Chamber in the back. This has been very common, by the way. Evo Chambers in the back rather than in the front, making it harder to wall, but making it easier to hide. I'm not sure what I think about it. Ooh, Twilight Robo. Also not sure what I think about that. So usually a Twilight Council Robo tends to go into Templar Archives and thus Archon drop. If you see 2 more gateways, that's what it's starting to feel like. You could also theoretically go to something else, but you have the double gas. I was gonna say, like, maybe in some world it's gonna be like a charge attack. But then why the hell would you take these gases? Were the gases fake? No, they haven't been scouted. I mean, they are fake. They just haven't been scouted. Double Oracle into a charge lot all-in. So after the great success of last game's charge lot build, he says, you know what? The real problem there was the fact that I had +1. What I need is just gateways without +1. He's supply block right now. This is awkward as hell for Classic. He's just not building any extra workers. He could pull out of gas in the main base as well. It's like, what do you need a 200 gas for? He's going to go up to 7 and 9 gates. Is that correct? Because he has 6 new ones on the way. 3 are done right now. 9 gateway charge lot. He's going to go double Evo Chamber. I mean, Reynor is really pushing it too far right now. This is just insanely greedy. He's trying to style on his opponent, and I do not appreciate that. What the hell is this? Is he gonna rush into Ultras? Like, this is super unsafe right now. I do not condone this type of behavior. This is not good. This is really not good. We're gonna build a couple more links, but +1 isn't even really gonna be done. In 20 seconds it might be. This thing is moving towards the far left. Like, well... Fake gases, I love this move. Fake, oh, he didn't even see the fake gas. That is so funny. That is very sad, but also very funny at the same time. 5 Zealots now moving in, trying to go after these queens potentially. There's 3 queens in the main bases. We get a fat warp in there as well. Melee attack not quite done yet, which is actually a pretty big deal for these initial fights. Now it finishes up. Queens in a bit of an awkward position. Can we get another warp in here? Spore needs to start moving forward, by the way. It's a vital part. It's the Adept show up over on the third base. Oracle's now gonna show up here as well. Yeah, 2 Oracles actually deal a lot of damage in these types of scenarios, let me tell you. We're gonna get Stasis Wards rather than Pulsar Beam. So he says, you know what, my Stasis brings all the links to the yard. Does seem to be accurate. I think I would have preferred some damage output out of these guys. 59 workers to, what is it, 54. Yeah, I mean, 2-1 upgrades into Infestation Pit is legitimately a crazy play here. I think this is insane. I really do believe this to be insane. Had there been a Baneling Nest, a Roach Warren right now, this push would just end. But instead, this push is going to continue for at least a little bit longer. 1 Oracle goes down. Stasis gets sniped as all these Zealots will end up falling too. Reynor here is just picking up this game. What a truly ridiculous game out of Reynor. He still needs to deal with the next problem, which is going to be Archon warp-ins. So we have 9 gateways and we have the equivalence of 3 Archons here. I mean, I am struggling mightily seeing how he's going to defend this. He's getting a Baneling Nest. Still 30 seconds away. Like, if he gets any type of Archons over here, which I think he will do. Yep, there we go. 2 Archons. I think it's just too much. I think it's actually too much. I do not think you can deal with it. Fort base under heavy attack as well. This is without a forge, by the way, all of this for Classic. Double Archon drop into the main base. There is a Prism. He's going to try to elevator these Zealots in as well. This is once again kind of an awkward execution, but maybe it is good enough. Spores are trying to move in further forward. Queen goes down. This Spore's going to get taken out as well. We get another big warp in. Yes, we can. Prism might end up falling as a result, though. Maybe the Spore will go down before it can kill it. There you go. Prism stays alive at 11 HP. Queen's now moving forward. Will snipe it. So the Prism falls. These Archons are also gonna fall. This is one of the weirdest games I've seen in a long time. Every single time I think Reynor's gonna die, he just stays alive for a little bit longer. Like, this really shouldn't have happened. This was a weird execution of the build going into the main base there. It felt also like it wasn't well synchronized with the attack on the fort. We now have an Ultra Cavern coming in. I think Reynor is actually just trolling at this point. Like, he's not playing serious. This is not a serious style. He's getting Carapace, Adrenal Glands. His opponent doesn't even have upgrades. He's on 2-1. Like, he's completely trying to style on his opponent. I think this is a huge blunder. I actually really believe this to be a huge blunder. I don't understand why he's doing this. Like, these Archons are getting really decent damage onto the link count as well. Fort base getting cancelled is actually good for Classic, because it might trigger an attack. Like, if the Ultras come out, Classic is cooked. But there is still a chance, like, 4 or 5 Archons, you actually cannot beat it. You cannot beat 4 Archons if you don't have Baneling Ling, if you don't have Roaches in the mix. He's gonna go for 4 more Templar. He's just morphing them. Storm is gonna finish up. He's never gonna get a single Storm out here, and that's completely fine. Baneling count is at 6. First Ultra on the way as well. I mean, this is not happening. I just don't think this defense is happening. I don't understand how you can hold this many Archons with just pure Ling Queen. Even without upgrades, even if you have 2-1 upgrades yourself, it's just not possible. Like, the splash is too strong. The Queens are gonna make a play for the Prism and are barely not gonna get it. This has been one of the legitimately weirdest games. One of the worst games that Reynor could have gone for. G gets caught, Classic wins it, and ties up the series, forcing out an ace match. Reynor absolutely was styling on his opponent there. Like, there's really nothing else to be said. Like, he just... And then losing in the end. But I think you come out of that with a lot of confidence if you're Reynor. Like, you've now had 2 builds in a row where I think theoretically you're just dead. Like, if the execution of Classic is good enough, like, this is just over. So if Reynor even plays remotely safe in this upcoming game, I find it hard to imagine him losing a game. Like, I just don't understand how that would work. Like, it doesn't really compute. Like, he's just outclassing his opponent, like, in every way possible. Which is crazy, because Classic is, I guess, PvZ-wise, like a top 3 Protoss. Hero, max specs, I'd probably rate higher. I'm not even sure about max specs. Hero, I would rate higher than Classic. Yeah, max specs probably as well. So seeing this happen is insane. Reynor in good shape. That is the one thing we can... that can be our main takeaway from all of this. I even really like Classic's builds as well. Like, they're... Strategically, he's been good this series. He actually has been. The first game that he won was off the back of a... what the hell is this? Whoa. The first game he won... Whoa. Whoa. Proxy Stargate? So, okay, let me retry my sentence another time. The first game he won was off the back of the 4-gate Glaive build. Then the game he won in the previous... Like, he should have won both Game 3 and Game 4, I think, build order-wise. And like how Reynor was... I feel like Reynor strategically is a little bit too nonchalant at the moment. Like, he just run around with links, make it happen. And he does make it happen, but then I think he stays in it a bit too long. And he's making life much harder on himself than it needs to be. Like, he's basically not getting the insurance policies. And then sometimes things break. You know, like his house goes up on fire. It's like, I can probably pay for it. You know, I should just work hard for a couple of years. And like that. I know, but probably would have been smarter to get that fire insurance, buddy. And he just doesn't do it. And he keeps finding himself in trouble against a player like Classic, who is quite intelligent when it comes to build order choices, apparently. It's also been lovely to see Classic switch away from his one build order that he'd been doing for a long time, like the fast Templar Archives. I wonder if this is... He keeps the probe here. There's two reasons for that. One, you don't want to show your probe coming back to the Overlord. And two, potentially to get a second Stargate for Proxy Tempest. I'm not saying this is happening, but it is possible. I've seen, like, you could Nexus here. This sounds dumb, but you can do it. Nexus, Proxy Tempest, double Stargate. And you just build batteries here, full wall this area. It is possible. Just because people don't do it doesn't mean it's bad. Although it probably does mean it's bad. Proxy Tempest is absolutely playable. Okay. What do we have over here? Double Adepts coming in. Second Oracle on the way as well. I mean, this Oracle is going to get some big damage. Some big damage. I think the drones just need to run all the way to the natural right now. 2 Queens need to come in. If you get 4 or 5 worker kills here, life is good. Life is freaking sweet, let me tell you. Reynor also doesn't realize that this Oracle is way too fast. So not only did they take a serious beating, but he's... Okay, now he's going to find this Stargate. Twilight Council behind this. I love this place so much. I love this place so much. Fast Twilight Council, extra gateways. So he's saying initial pressure into follow-up pressure. And I think this is genius. I actually think this is very, very smart. One of the problems I always have is that you get that initial damage with the Oracles and then people just don't follow up quick enough with their damage. With their next, like, oomph. You know, you punch the guy once and you see him wobbling. It's like, you don't just retreat back into your corner, lean into the ropes for the next 3 rounds. No, like, you give him another punch. And that is what Classic is so good at here. He's even fully cutting workers, which this comes with a lot of risks, obviously, right? It's like, hey, you're cutting workers, makes it easy that if Reynor has the perfect defense to come back into the game. But if Reynor does not get the perfect defense here, he is cooked. And Reynor so far, when he's been okay in games, has been skipping insurance. Okay? What is the chance that in a game like this, he's going to skip the insurance as well, where he needs to catch up in eco, where he needs to be building drones the entire time? He doesn't skip it this time around. Roach Warren comes down. Fantastic. Evo Chamber in the mix as well. And this is going to be the first time in a while where we have the potential of a wall, which is exactly what you need. Classic here, honestly, strategically playing this series phenomenally. All the reads, or almost all the reads, I think are brilliant. But this time he's getting strategically shafted. Because his worker count is very low. He invested massively in trying to hit as fast as possible with this. Look at the worker count here, 43 to 54. Roach is already out on the way. We have a drone in position to build this. Reynor's feeling confident enough to take a forward base, which is a big deal, by the way. Very often against these types of builds, people are too slow at taking the fourth. This shade is too early. This is a very awkward shade. He might even finish it, and I think that finish is potentially wrong. Roaches aren't out quite yet. This shade was fine. This shade was fine. Lots of links going down. We have a couple more adepts coming in. There's a cancel. Okay, drones starting to fall right now. This is decent damage. The follow-up isn't secured, though. It really isn't. Already 9 drones on the way behind all of this. We have 54 workers to 47. Adept shade finishes once more. This one's pretty awkward. This one actually is pretty awkward. Where are our oracles? We have one around. It's just kind of idling by. Not a huge fan of this. Not a huge fan of that, but 8 drones have gone down, 58 workers to 52. Hydra then comes down, no infestation pit. Starting to feel a lot like Christmas. No, it's starting to look a lot like a Roach Hydra all-in. And on the side of Classic, it's starting to look a lot like an Immortal push. But the Forge is confusing. 3 sentries, Immortals, 5 gateways. This could be a case of all-in chicken. You know, who moves across the map last is probably going to be the winner. And the problem for Classic here is that he's going to scout a fort base. He would love to get a read. You know what would be the worst case scenario? If he throws like a revelation onto this thing and he sees a drone pop out of here. Like, does he see that drone? He doesn't see the drone. That would have been really bad for him. Because then he probably... Oh, it's not actually an all-in. What the hell? Okay, we have an infestation pit. Ooh. Reynor not very decisive. Has a lot of units though, and we're gonna get a scout. I think Reynor saw the sentry count. And he says, hey, what I need is, if I can get into lurkers, I'm good. I'll just do a defensive all-in with tech behind it. So this is also a way to get ahead of your opponent. A lot of people, they want to drone as aggressively as possible, so they try to defend this with 76 drones. But Reynor says, hey, you know what? I think my higher level tech is going to be more important, and I want to use all my larvae on units. So he'll still have a lot of units. He's just lacking a little bit of gas into that infestation pit. Could potentially start a hive if he wants to. But maybe doesn't even really want to, as he's morphing more Ravagers. Getting more Hydras in the mix as well. This is still going to be a very tough fight for him. Adept count isn't huge at the moment, by the way. It is okay. It is not huge. We need one more big warp in, and I think then we're going to be cooking. Okay, here comes a big Adept warp in. Look at that. Hydras without their speed, by the way. Good Guardian shields. Decent set of force fields as well. 3 Immortals. Have a lot of DPS, and these Rogers are falling at a rapid pace, but sentries are also going down. Feels like a lot of the energy is depleting. Double Adept drive-by into the third, as these Lings are struggling with that mightily. 8 more Adepts coming in. Hive halfway done. No Lurker then on the way quite yet, as Classic is seemingly walking over Reynor here. Stasis Ward doesn't catch a whole lot. There's no roach speed with this either. Upgrade advantage is of course for Reynor. This Prism is high and dry. All Immortals still alive. I'd love to see a shade or a fake shade towards the third base. Just force a bit of a split out of the opponent. It is not what Classic is doing here, as he moves just a tiny bit with his Prism. He's trying to lose a lot of units. Reynor with good production behind all of this. Has the Spore moving further forward. Needs a big Adept warping. Classic, that is. Pick up here on the Immortal. Not there. Pick up on the second Immortal is there. Spore comes in forward as a Bile hits the Prism, as well as one of the Immortals. And I think that Classic actually got pushed back, not using the shade a single time. One of the main advantages of using Adepts over Stalkers is the fact that you can force a split off of units towards a different base by faking these big shades, these big psionic transfers somewhere else. And right now, it does start to feel like Classic is in a world of trouble. Lurker then on the way, 8 gases coming out, and just a single round of drones here, I think is what we're going to get. Up to 72, 73, 74 workers, 8 gas, pumping Lurkers out. What type of army are you going to have against that as Classic? It's going to be Immortal based. Ideally we get Storms, so we can deal with Lings, we can deal with Hydras. Majority of the time is going to be Hydra, Ling, Lurkers. The Storm is really strong to deal with the Lings. Immortals are great at dealing with Lurkers. Not so great against Ling Hydra though. You really need some splash backup with that. And let's see if we can get that. We get a, for Adept drop. That's cute. I actually do like this. One of the worst outcomes would be though losing a Prism. It is actually terrible to lose a Prism, because the Prism forces about 15 to 20 supply back home. You can often still deal some damage even if the supply is forced back at home. Classic is wanting to move across the map. This would be a huge blunder in my mind. They're absolutely astronomical size. I don't... Oh, but I don't understand why we're here. This position seems extremely risky. Storm isn't out quite yet. Okay, he's gonna move back home, thank God. Prism still in the AFK area. There's only 3 Hydras here. Like, if you find an alternate angle to get in and you can drop it, this is not enough to defend. However, if the Hydra response is fast, then this is absolutely a way to defend. Link's now moving towards the bottom side, and this was a fake as Reynor runs into the fourth base. At the same time, the Prism is trying to hit the third over here, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Big move command out of Classic. A huge blunder as he loses a bunch of his Immortals. Prism goes... well, actually stays alive, doesn't go down. We get a depth split. Look how much supply is forced back home. Look how much supply is forced back home over here. Phenomenal stuff. Just 4 Adepts. Forcing 30-40 supply back. As Immortals moving forward, this is a good fight potentially here for our good friend Classic. Although he's being pushed back. Charge not quite down. +2 finishes halfway through. 1 Observer to rule them all. And no Smeagol to lead you the way. On how to kill the Lurkers. Oh, we have like an insane Lurker count. What's a Lurker count? It's like 14. Oh my god. I mean, Reynor is absolutely cooking right now after a tough early game. He's owning. He's just owning Classic in this series. I know this looks like a 3-2, but gameplay wise, this felt like a 5-0, let me tell you. Like, I don't think Classic can can't have any positive takeaways from this series. Like, my builds were better than his. He played, like, he just had like 12 drinks before starting, like, strategically, and I still got freaking destroyed when it mattered. Reynor with a dominant performance against one of the best Protoss players in the world right now. 3-2.